So I got this for you.
Yeah, I get a lot of people bring stuff like this in, man. I know it looks old, but it's still just worth $1.
But this one's signed by former President Ronald Reagan and Walt Disney.
Oh, wow. What do we got here?
Well, this would be a Henry Roberts map. It exhibits the discoveries made by the British explorer, Captain James Cook.
Okay. Captain Cook was a really remarkable guy.
Things go off the rails, in the best way, when a seller unveils a German cutaway car model once used to train mechanics. Rick's eyes light up like dashboard bulbs. Corey watches Dad hit peak gearhead, raving about clutches, brakes, and moving suspension. The vibe screams must buy before money is even mentioned. We're barely off the line and already cruising toward drama, nostalgia, and a whole lot of nerd joy.
German cutaway model, they use them to train chauffeurs and auto mechanics.
Hey, Corey. What's up? Come check this out. This is like super, super cool. This is, it's an old model of an old car.
Jungle vibes hit Vegas. A seller arrives with 2 Amazonian blowguns and a pouch of darts. Chum's grinning like he's on safari. Rick's eyebrow is doing math. The seller wants $750 and brings the frog poison lure. Chum worries they're tourist decor, but the haggle heats up. He edges from $350 to $375 and seals it, declaring himself quite the hunter. Sure, buddy, just don't test it in the showroom.
I got some Amazonian blow darts.
Amazonian blow darts, okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being out in the bushes, you got there's a boar coming right at you.
Museum sage Mark Hall Patton rolls in and confirms it's a Farcraft Verlag training model built for hands-on driver mechanic education. They plug it in, mechanisms whir to life, and Rick practically levitates. Corey teases him for fixing it before owning it. Parts would require machining from scratch, but the piece is legit. Rick doesn't blink. $700, deal done. Pure, delighted impulse buy. Dad 1, restraint 0.
All right, well, tell me a little bit about it.
Well, this is a Verkehr Verlag Remagen car.
Okay.
Remagen's the name of the town. Verkehr Verlag is the company that made these.
A cave find sword slides in courtesy of Spencer. Rusty, crusty, and supposedly 17th century Moorish. Rick sees enough to phone a pro. Enter Dave, the sword whisperer. The table tension spikes. Garage junk or battlefield history. You can cut this suspense with a dull blade as everyone waits to see if that cave story is treasure, or just a solid campfire myth.
And I bring you the sword from Zelda.
It doesn't look like Excalibur that was pulled out of a stone. It looks like it was a pile of rocks.
I pulled out of the rock, it's just been sitting there waiting for you.
This was under a pile of rock.
Diagnosis lands hard. Dave IDs the blade as a 17th century Afghan pulwar, a one-handed horseback slasher with grooves that lighten without sacrificing strength. As his value may be $500, fully restored up to $5,000. Restoration quote, $1,500. You can watch the arithmetic flash behind Rick's grin. This is exactly the kind of gamble he lives for.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Good.
Haven't seen you for a while.
So Spencer's a friend of mine, and he bought this sword, and we don't know anything about it.
Deal time. Spencer floats $450. Rick fires back at $200, and they spar to a handshake at $300. Friendly banter, classic Pawn Stars rhythm, and a restoration ticket punched. Plan: ship it to Dave, chase that $5,000 upside, and pray the rust isn't hiding any nasty surprises.
The reason it has these curved end pieces is because the warrior would catch another sword in this curved guard and then break it with one hand while riding horses.
Okay.
Holiday Chaos Detour. A seller claims Billy Bob Thornton's screen-worn Bad Santa suit, plus the burglar mask. Corey's intrigued but cautious. No prop tags anywhere is a red flag. The price tag? $3,500. It smells like smoke, sure, but smoky Santa isn't Provenance. Time to summon a movie prop grown up before Christmas dreams go poof.
So what do you got, man?
Well, this is Billy Bob Thornton's Bad Santa suit, worn in the original movie, as well as the burglar mask.
Prop expert Rob arrives for the Santa suit and starts forensics. Belt grommets don't match, collar fluffs off, and continuity numbers are MIA. Verdict: possibly production used, but not Billy Bob's hero suit. Value collapses to roughly $700. Corey passes with a polite smile. The seller's holiday cheer drops like a lump of coal.
What do we have here? Hi, I'm Rob.
I'm Reed. Nice to meet you.
Reed.
Well, this is Billy Bob Thornton's Bad Santa suit. He played Willie in the movie, and there is the burglar mask that he wore when he went to go
Parlor game curveball. Elite conversation cards, 1887. Chum's amused, the seller's hopeful. A full set with directions is a win, but condition is average. We're talking a quirky Victorian icebreaker, not Monopoly money. It's charming, it's colorful, it's history on cardboard. The question is, will it cash flow or just sit pretty in the case?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I have some elite conversation cards, the comical ones from 1887. It's a game.
Okay.
It's a question and answer game.
Expert Steve explains McLaughlin Brothers' vivid color work and why the deck was racy for its day. Directions card intact helps, but the market isn't exactly a stampede. He pegs value around $250. Chum offers $75. The seller declines. No deal, just a clean read on reality and a graceful exit.
Honestly, he offered you too much money already. So, yeah, 75 would be as most as I could go.
All right, I'll just take my chances.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Workshop time. Dave shows Rick the Pool Wars glow-up. A 2x72 belt grinder lifts deep rust. A flexible shaft tool cleans the grooves. Finer grits smooth the steel. Then the acid etch wakes up that watery pattern. Even mid-process, the blade's story gleams through centuries of neglect. Craftsmanship montage equals instant goosebumps.
Give me a half an hour. The rust is a lot deeper than I anticipated at first, so it's taking quite a bit longer. I mean, it was 10 hours to get this far.
Literary Thunder, a signed, numbered subterranean press, a Game of Thrones limited edition. The seller wants $2,500. Chum cracks a TV book joke. Rick calls Rebecca because this is Grail territory if legit. The condition is sweet, the signatures are real, and collector demand flaming.
Rarest edition of Game of Thrones book, looking to sell.
A rarest edition?
Rarest edition ever made.
Okay.
Winter has come, Rick.
Oh, let's see what you got.
Rebecca confirms the bona fides. 448 numbered, 52 lettered, early 2000s issue signed by George R.R. Martin and the illustrators. It's not the 1996 first printing. It's the signed limited that many fans treat as the crown jewel. Typical sales land around $2,000 to $2,500, with room to list higher in hot moments.
Well, TV show. Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know if I'd read the book.
You should read the book.
I mean, is there an audio version?
Rick's inner Lannister emerges. He opens at $1,500. The seller pushes for $2,000. They close at $1,600. It's a disciplined margin play with upside. Exactly the kind of modern collectible that moves if priced right. Harrisons always pay their debts, Rick quips. Chumley still waiting for the audiobook.
This book, the holy grail of Game of Thrones collecting. The first printing, there were a decent amount of copies, at least of the US printing, and so you can still kind of get that.
Finale. The Pole War returns transformed. The etch ripples like water, the edge gleams, and the 300-year story now shines instead of flakes. Rick estimates $5,000, slides it into the case, and beams while Corey roasts his hat choice. All the values in the story, Rick says. And tonight, that story delivered big. Restoration triumph. Vintage Rick.
Oh, this came in the mail for you?
I don't know. I get lots of things in the mail. Oh, it's my sword.
You bought a new sword? You going hunting with it with your hat and everything, or?
It's a 300-year-old Afghan pole war.
Things kick off fast and weird. A seller flashes Hunter S. Thompson's journal. Scribbles, phone numbers, clippings, even doodles. Rick's in awe. There'll never be another guy like him. But he wants facts, not vibes. The ask? A cool $100,000. That's gonzo money. Rick calls in Steve to sort what's actually Hunter's hand from everyone else's help. The tension's already humming. Drama overload.
We have got a journal of notes that Hunter Thompson used on his book, Songs of the Doom Dead.
So this is a journal that was Hunter S. Thompson's.
Steve arrives for the Hunter S. Thompson journal and goes line by line. Verdict. Some pages are Hunter, but roughly 85% is other hands. Assistance, dictation, inserts. Historically spicy, but not purely HST. Value lands around $20,000 to $25,000 to the right buyer. Can you believe this pivot? The myth shrinks to market reality in a single breath.
Right now, with a handwritten journal from Hunter S. Thompson, this is possibly
One of the coolest things that's come into the shop in a long time. He's asking $100,000 for it, and when you're talking six-figure numbers...
Negotiation time. Rick goes firm at $20,000 on the spot. The seller says he'll keep writing with it and won't budge from six-figure dreams. No deal, just that thud of expectations meeting appraisal. Seriously, look at that reaction. Respectful, but resolute. Pawn shop poetry, and the book closes for now.
This is definitely not his writing. It's too neat and concise.
Yeah, so what do you think this thing would go for at auction?
It's still historically significant, but the value is probably right in that $20,000 to $25,000.
A sharp left turn. An antique X-ray machine lumbers in. Rick does a history riff, Röntgen, wartime metallurgy, even mummy scans. But here's the punchline. The main tube is missing. Translation: collectors chase parts, and the tube was the money piece. The seller wants $1,200. Rick deems it basically worthless as is. Ouch. That's not no, that's hell no.
So what do we have here?
An Edison-era X-ray machine.
Okay. Do you know where the term X-ray came from?
Not exactly sure.
The reason why it was X-rays is because suddenly they realized these rays were coming out and they had...
Corey fields a base Ketball screen use piece signed by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the South Park legends. The premise gets laughs, the price doesn't. The seller shoots for $2,000. Corey counters at $300, citing auction risks and soft demand. The gulf is Grand Canyon wide. Everyone's polite, but it's a clean pass. Culture points, zero profit.
Basketball, used in the movie Basketball, signed by Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. It took me a second to realize what it was.
Matt and Trey weren't supposed to star in the movie. They weren't supposed to be the actors, obviously.
Road trip. Rick and picker pal Spencer hit a legendary basement. They uncover a sailor-made USS Arkansas pennant wheel, a ring of ports of call from a dreadnought that saw World War I service, then Normandy, Iwo Jima, Okinawa, finally sunk at Bikini Atoll. History goosebumps everywhere. Lou opens at silly money. Rick starts chiseling.
Okay. There's lots of good stuff in here.
Yo!
Ah, there he is. Hey, what's going on, my man?
Hey, man. Good to see you.
My buddy Rick.
How's it going?
Just fine.
You think you can let us in the basement?
I don't think so.
Oh, come on, man.
Why would I let you in the basement?
About this, remember?
Haggle fireworks, $300, $400, a bold $1,200 ask. Rick volleys to $800, and Lou squeezes $850. Deal. The historical whole line is comedy gold, but come on. That circle of penance is pure storytelling on the wall. Seriously, watch Rick's grin. That's display magic secured.
The wheel here, man.
What that is, it's a collection of pennants from a sailor on the USS Arkansas.
You could buy these pennants?
Yeah, if you were a crew member, you could buy the pennants, just like any other pennant you buy as a...
Okay. And so he got them all together, and once he had enough, he made a circle?
Yep.
Next, a Boone Trail Highway plaque, cast using metal from the USS Maine. Americana catnip. It's worn, repaired, and gloriously stubborn. Lou wants $3,750. Rick anchors hard, and the tug of war ends at $2,500. You can cut this tension with a putty knife, but that handshake, priceless.
It's a placard from the Boone Trail Highway.
Yeah.
And that was from like 100 years ago, right?
Yeah, there's like 300 to 350 of these that were set up along Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina as kind of a remembrance of Mr. Daniel Boone.
Then they crack open a container. Boom. Gulf Oil porcelain sign in classic orange and blue. Battered, but beautiful. Spencer and Rick both want it. The friendly auction energy spikes instantly. Offers start flying as they wrestle damage versus character. It's a neon-era icon begging for a second life.
In 1338, the British had their first cannon mounted to a ship, and it made a massive difference. From then on, it was bullets and bombs over blue water. In 2016, the U.S. Navy built their largest destroyer ever.
Final flurry, $1,200, $1,500, $1,750 from Lou, but Rick taps the brakes. Too much restoration ahead. He plants $1,500 flat and it sticks. Sold to the man with a good haircut. Seriously, look at that reaction. Rick's already picturing it cleaned and glowing in Vegas.
Well, it's pretty immediate what the cool thing is.
Yep, man. Obviously, we just need to get this thing out and take a look.
Well, this thing's not light.
No. Take it the other way that way.
Okay.
Back home, a 1923 European pocket watch gleams. thin, elegant, and 18 karat. Corey lays out the tough truth. US railroad-grade pocket watches rule this market. European pocket watches lag unless wrist-mounted. The seller hopes for $10,000. Corey can only justify about $1,000 to $1,200 on gold. No deal. And honestly, the family keep choice feels right.
The 1923 Audemars pocket watch.
Oh wow, can I see it?
Definitely see it.
Audemars is probably one of the best watch builders there is out there. It takes about 3 minutes to make a Timex. It takes about 3 years to make an Audemars.
A pair of 1920s Paris Metro seats rolls in. Second-class benches with enameled 2 panels. Rick nerds out on transit history and posture discipline. Yep, they're cool, specialized, and not an easy flip. After a courteous dance from $2,499, Rick moves from $700 to $1,200 and finally lands it at $1,300. Clean win.
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What do you have here?
Some 1920s Paris Metro train car seats. Not from Paris, down the street.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that's our Paris down the street.
Yeah.
Rick's real quest, a 1962 Ford pumper fire truck in Alabama. He passes on a diesel Mac and an overbuilt relic, then spots the simple carbureted contender. Runs, flows water, and looks fixable. The test drive reveals dragging brakes and leaks, but real bones. The kid in a candy store grin, unmistakable.
So I am in Alabama with Spencer. Yesterday, we saw this incredibly cool-looking 1962 Ford pumper truck. Now, James, the guy who restores my cars, is going to be here today. And hopefully he tells me everything's great.
Mechanic James delivers the verdict. Leaks, air brakes, a dead siren, but workable guts. With 800 gallons on board, power matters. And this one's got enough. Negotiation time. Rick hammers the "it'll rot out back" angle and plants $3,000. The seller weighs it and bites. Sold.
This thing is absolutely great, ain't it?
You can tell the brakes are dragging though.
It's got its issues. Motor definitely needs to tune up. It's definitely got potential.
Got a lot of potential.
Back in Vegas, Rick Beam's Bald Mountain Fire Department is happening, logo and all. Corey and Chum needle him about playing sheriff next, but Rick's unbothered. Sometimes the best buy is the one that protects what you love. Seriously, watch that reaction. It's a grown man, happy as a 7-year-old with the world's biggest red toy.
So here's the plan. You're going to spend right around $25,000-ish, and then God knows what it is to tow it to your place and then get it to Oregon. In a month or two. All right, thanks, brother.
My kids are gonna hate me, but
A Funko storm hits early. The seller unveils a 2013 mystery box of fun with a metallic Skeletor and 2 Comic-Con Batman Joker variants. Rick admits he's not a pop guy, but knows rare plastic can mean real money. Condition is crisp, corners sharp, factory seals right. This is the good stuff. With stakes set, he lines up an expert because pops can be counterfeited and values swing fast.
Really important limited edition Batman and Joker offered at the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con. So I stood in line all night to find out it did come with 2 of the pieces that I was chasing.
Rick calls Steve Johnson later to sanity check the values. After combing every crease and window, Steve pegs the set around $2,800 retail. No dings, no sun fade, solid centering. Rick fires in low at $1,500, the seller pushes $2,000, and they drift apart at $1,800. No deal, but a clean pass beats a bad buy. Rick shrugs, learned something and kept my cash.
What this was in 2013, and pretty much every year since, Funko has produced what they call the mystery box of fun. You purchase it and you don't know which ones you're gonna get. The mascot for Funko is Freddy Funko.
Comedy turns cinematic when a Dumb and Dumber continuity binder hits the counter. Hair charts, wardrobe, scene photos, the whole 90s time capsule. Rick grins ear to ear. It's pop culture documentation, not fan fluff. The seller shoots a number. Rick plays the "it's cool, not priceless" card and squeezes it down fast. It's the rare paper ephemera Rick loves. Displayable, story-rich, and an easy sell to movie geeks.
I have a continuity binder from 1994's classic comedy Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber? Do you have any Grey Poupon?
You're telling me there's a chance. I'm here today to sell my 1994 Dumb and Dumber continuity binder.
They land it quickly. Rick explains continuity binders are production tools that prove provenance. You can match on-set images to released scenes, making it catnip for collectors. The haggle's short, rickety pages, but complete, and Rick closes it under the seller's ask to keep margin. One more behind-the-scenes artifact for the wall, and a reminder that paperwork sometimes beats props.
This looks like Jim Carrey, day one. This is gonna be his haircut right here. I mean, it's just so funny. Here we go, Jeff Daniels as Harry.
There's Lauren Holly.
Do you have any of the iconic pictures of them in the orange and blue suit?
History Walks in Heavy, 3 volumes from History of the Indian Tribes. Yes, the famous 1840s series. Rick lights up, breaking down how these editions brought native portraits into 19th century parlors. The seller dreams 5 digits. Rick brings him back to earth. Smaller format sets trail elephant folios by a mile. Still, beautiful plates sell. Rick makes a fair but firm offer for quick cash and shelf appeal.
About almost all the tribes of North American Indians. It was an expansive work, especially for the 1840s. It took a long time to compile these. Remember, it's not like you had the internet to do your research back then.
Correct.
Rick flips through plates and explains condition killers. Foxing, plate tone, trimming. These hold up well. Spines are decent, impressions clear. He reminds the seller that value isn't just age, it's addition, completeness, and market. The counter is brief. Handshake secured. Not a fortune, but reliable profit with real cultural weight. Perfect for the shop's history you can hold case.
Nowadays, lithographs or steel plates and things like that. Back then, they literally had to get sheets of limestone. It was an incredible work at the time. These were very expensive books. So, did you have an idea what you wanted for these things?
Well, I did some research.
The mid-episode heartbeat. Rick's Oregon fire truck project is bleeding time and money. Windshields busted, sirens dead, and the budget jumped again. He winces but owns it. Every hobby costs me. Corey jokes it's a rolling midlife crisis. Rick insists it's a ranch utility piece with soul. It's honest TV. The fun part of collecting often comes with invoices attached.
I was on the East Coast and I bought myself a super cool vintage 1962 Ford 850 pumper fire truck for my property up in Oregon. The thing needs a lot of love.
A retired firefighter brings a 1930s Gamewell fire alarm box, the original Call 911. Corey lights up. This screams gift for dad and pairs perfectly with the truck. He checks completeness, door, lock, inner board, and calls Rick Dale to confirm life can be brought back to its lights and mechanism. It's rusty, sure, but authenticity and story trump shine here.
What do we got here?
Well, I have an item that I think I want to sell.
Why don't you put it up here?
This is a 1930s to 40s Gamewell fire alarm box. The original 911 system.
Rick Dale later confirms the bones are real and the history's right. He sketches restoration options, light-up display versus deep resto, and sets a sensible value band. Corey pulls the trigger as a surprise for Rick, paying at the high end because sentiment counts. This will make him ridiculously happy, Corey smirks. Rust with meaning beats chrome without a story, every time.
In the mid-1800s, there was no phones, so the only way to tell somebody there's a fire is either yell or they started putting these up. So back in the day when they were making them, Gamewell had like 95% of the market share, meaning
a glittering 1849 Colt pocket pistol arrives with a big claim. Gold-plated, ornate, big ask. Rick admires the look, then goes straight to the tells. Sloppy engraving, mismatched grips, details that scream aftermarket. Factory letters and period work are everything. Without them, it's costume jewelry. He offers safely at $1,000. The seller passes. Pretty can be poison in antique arms. He expands for viewers.
So that's a fancy looking box you got there.
Open it up.
Oh, old pocket pistol.
1949, 31 caliber.
How's the old saying go?
True factory presentation Colts have crisp roll marks, period finishes, and documented provenance. Here, the finish and cuts don't track to Colt's hand. No letter, no premium. It's a gentle but firm no, and a quick masterclass in how flash doesn't equal value. The seller leaves bummed. Rick's fine keeping his powder dry.
It was powerful, it had a rifled barrel, it had interchangeable parts, which was a really big thing. Before this was invented, there just wasn't anything out there that was truly reliable.
Motorcycle candy, a 1930s Indian toolbox, the small tin everyone loses and every restorer needs. The seller opens at $200. Corey immediately knows that's low and offers $400 to end it fast. They tussle a second, but Corey closes clean. It's a goodwill buy that still makes sense. Fast turnover, high demand, and a perfect accessory for someone's period-correct build.
How's it going?
What do we got?
Old school Indian motorcycle toolbox.
Oh wow, mind take a look at it?
Yeah.
These are actually pretty cool, man.
Road vibes kick in. Bikes fueled, ride north toward Rick's off-grid ranch. It's part father-son bonding, part let's find every antique in 100 miles with chum as chaos garnish. The miles roll and you can feel the show shifting from counters to countryside, where picking instincts replace showcases and what's that in the barn becomes the mantra.
Thank you. Well, My fire truck is done, and I have this great idea. Let's ride motorcycles from Vegas to Oregon.
So this is actually happening.
At the ranch, Rick does the off-grid tour. Water turbine hums, gravity well runs, batteries charge. Mini Hoover Dam energy. Corey just shakes his head. You built a power plant instead of taking a vacation. Rick beams. Vacations cost money. This saves it. It's the most Rick logic ever. Invest once. Smile every day you flip a switch that isn't on the grid.
So I brought Corey and Chum up to my place in the mountains, which is in the middle of nowhere and completely off the grid. Literally, if there was a zombie apocalypse, I wouldn't even know about it. So this is the powerhouse. This is what makes us completely off the grid.
The finale fires on all cylinders. Corey unveils the restored Gamewell box, glowing red. Rick is thrilled. Moments later, the fire truck arrives, cherry paint sparkling and siren howling. Rick shouts, "Now I'm the fire department." Corey deadpans, "Please don't test that theory." Chum salutes anyway. It's pure joy. History rescued, project complete, and a Vegas pawn boss grinning like a kid.
Dad. Dad.
Rick.
This is delicious. Really? Will you please stop playing with that?
It's pedal-powered chaos from the start when a seller rolls in with a 1900 Elgin wooden rim bicycle straight out of a barn graveyard. Rick and his repair guy lift it up like it's a fossil. "Wooden wheels," Rick gasps. "This thing's older than my grandpa's jokes." The seller wants $1,800 and insists the story adds value. Rick grins, "So does rust if you have enough of it."
First time you at the shop?
Yeah, first time, yeah. I figured I'd come visit you instead of having to ship things out.
All right, so what's the story with this?
This is a wooden rim Elgin bicycle from the 1900s.
Those are wooden?
Yeah, see right down there, wooden.
The backstory is straight out of a coming-of-age novel. A jealous neighborhood kid knocks the bike owner down, breaks his arm. Parents lock the bike away for a century. Rick studies the double-bar crossbars and original rims. Elgin made tanks, not toys. He texts Rick Dale, his go-to restoration wizard, to size up whether this relic can actually roll again.
It is a pretty amazing bike.
It's a very rare bike, very expensive bike back in the day. These bikes, I think, were originally about $100 back then to have.
That's a crazy amount of money back then.
Yeah. This bike has got a...
Before the Elgin's fate is sealed, Chumley is vibing purple. A superfan struts in holding 4 rare Prince alter ego comics from 1991. Chum practically sings, "Let's go crazy." The seller fires off $1,300 as his ask. Chum calls comic expert Paul because even he knows condition hits harder than a bass drop in When Doves Cry.
When it comes to music, Prince is pretty important to our time period. Have you read him before?
Yes, I read it twice.
And what's the story about?
Basically, it's about Prince and his alter ego, which was Gemini.
Paul examines the glossy covers, noting light water spots and spine creases. "They've been loved," he says diplomatically. Best case, $50 each. Chum's face drops faster than a DJ scratch. The lot totals maybe $200. The seller protests, "That can't be right." Chum sighs, "I hate to purple rain on your parade, but nostalgia doesn't pay retail. No sale, only heartbreak and funky laughter."
Things that might take the grade down. It's like stress lines, this crease here. Looks like it has some water damage here. This one has a couple of indents here.
A nautical twist sails in next. A man presents a 1785 James Cook Discoveries map, charting the explorer's voyages. Rick's eyes light up. Captain Cook, the GPS before GPS. The paper's stained and glued, but the artwork is stunning. The seller boldly asks $15,000. Rick wisely calls historian Mark Hall Patton to navigate authenticity and sanity.
Just imagine 1775. I mean, these were explorers finding new things. So Captain Cook went all around the world, documented everything, came back with drawings of the crazy animals like platypuses and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Mark confirms it's a genuine late 18th century printing but second edition with major condition issues. Fold tiers, discoloration, glued labels, collectible yet compromised. Fully restored, maybe $2,000. Rick counters $400. The seller balks, shipwrecked dreams included. As he leaves, Rick chuckles. Well, that ship literally sailed.
So how much you want for this thing?
Well, I'm asking $15,000.
Okay, that number is like astronomical. Just last year, the 4-volume set.
Corey meets a fan wielding Rowdy Roddy Piper-signed bagpipes. Asking price, $7,500. You're proud of these, aren't you? Corey smirks. The pipes look legit, but he reminds the seller it's not a Hendrix guitar. Bagpipes aren't rock and roll. He values the set $1,500 tops and offers $300. The seller refuses. No deal, no kilt.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. What do we got?
We have a set of Highland bagpipes autographed by legendary wrestler Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Back in the workshop, Rick Dale inspects the Elgin. He loves the wooden rims. Elastic, durable, and worth saving. He estimates restoration at $5,000 for an $8,000 value finished. Rick haggles Spencer down to $1,050 purchase price, dreaming profit. The seller sighs, "I'll take it, just don't let it rust in the yard." Deal done, sawdust pending.
So just let me pay you $1,000.
All right, $1,200. Come on.
$10.50.
All right,
we got a deal. Sweet, $10.50. Okay.
All right.
Then, Vintage Hilarity, Super Blow, an original SNL prop box from 1989. Chumlee reads the label aloud, high in fiber, low in fat. The seller wants $8,000. Chum's crying laughing, but still negotiates. "I'll do $3,500 because my boss is old and needs fiber." They shake hands. Chum cackles, 2 birds, 1 bowel.
From Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Colon Blow. It's high in fiber, low in fat. Seems pretty healthy. I guess it'll make you poop.
Next up, Pure Nostalgia, a month of 1918 New York Times issues, complete with wartime headlines and sepia photos. Rick geeks out over the cent-old ads and box scores, but calls it a nerd purchase. Seller asks $500. Rick offers $250. They settle there. Rick laughs. "I'll probably just read them all and call it research."
I was hoping to get $500 for it.
You know, generally newspapers are worth next to nothing.
I know.
I'll give you $250.
How about $300?
How about $250?
All right, you got a deal.
All right, sweet.
A father-daughter duo pedals in with a 1940s exercycle, complete with a motorized crank that moves your arms for you. Chum tries it out, instantly regretting life choices as it flings him around. He gasps. "This thing's a torture device." Liability fears end the talk. No deal, just viral video potential.
This is a 1940s extracycle.
Am I tripping, or does this thing have a motor on it?
It does have a motor on it. This is a built-in personal trainer.
For the finale's big score, a collector presents a complete 1954 to 1955 Topps hockey set. Chum lights up. Old school NHL? Nice. The man asks $15,000. Expert Dan examines corners and print tone, noting some edge wear but solid preservation. Valuation, about $5,000. Chum counters $2,800. Seller pushes $4,000. Handshake at $3,400.
With that being said, I could do 32.
About 36.
Split the difference, maybe go 34.
All right, 34.
All right, it's a deal.
All right.
Meet me over here, we'll ride it up.
Cut to restoration, reveal glory. Rick returns to Rick Dale's shop to see the Elgin reborn. The transformation stuns him. Fresh paint, straightened wheels, recreated badge, every detail period correct. Rick beams. "You even saved the wooden rims?" Dale nods proudly. Total cost $4,500 on top of purchase. Resale $10,000. Rick laughs. "I might actually pedal this one."
A little different looking now, though.
Oh, that looks amazing, dude.
Different,
It doesn't even look like the same bike. I'm super impressed.
Paint job. I looked up.
Chum can't resist one last gag. He wheels the SNL prop to Rick. Colon blow, when you really gotta go. Rick deadpans, "You're full of crap." Chum fires back, "And fiber." It's a perfect punchline closer, humor, history, and vintage weirdness all in one unforgettable episode.
You can move to my neighborhood, Rick. I got some stuff at my house that I need to fix. Check it out. Colon blow, when you really gotta go.
A woman sets the tone with a gleaming Reynolds 1910 envelope sealer. All brass swagger and office museum vibes. Chum jokes about licking a few thousand power bills a day, while Rick clocks the era details. The seller's goal is sweet and simple. Clear clutter and fund her husband's birthday. Rick's intrigued but already calculating display value versus demand. It looks great on a shelf, but will it actually move?
This is a Reynolds 1910 envelope sealer.
Okay. Can you imagine if you worked for the power company, licking closed, a few thousand power bills a day? You go home like, ha ha ha.
Rick gives a quick tour of how it works, admiring the period gold leaf flourishes. They don't make office gear this pretty anymore, he muses, pointing out why collectors love functional antiques with personality. Chum hams it up because of course he does. Rick resets. Cool factor isn't the same as market depth. He's interested, but only if the price leaves room for a quick low-risk flip.
This is really neat. This is something that definitely made a company's business easier. And when this thing was in proper working order and you had a great operator who was doing 50 to 100 envelopes a minute.
They run through operation, feed the flap, press, seal, and Rick confirms it's complete enough to display without a restoration bill. The seller floats an anchor around the $400 she's hoping for. Rick cools expectations with a gentle reality check. Niche audience, decorative more than industrial, and shipping risk if it sells online. Charming? Absolutely. But the numbers have to sing.
See gold leafing on office equipment anymore. And this right here, they could have made this for a little less money, but it wouldn't have looked good. In this time period, aesthetics were very, very important.
Haggle time. Rick starts low, the seller counters. Chum tosses in a split the difference nudge. It's small ball poker with smiles. They land at $130, and she happily takes the cash rather than haul it home. Rick grins. Clean display piece. Very little downside. Easy story to sell alongside the tag. That's a tidy opener for the day.
$135.
125 for it.
135.
Just because I'm a wonderful human being, I will go 130.
All right, 130.
Thanks. All right, follow me and we'll do some paperwork on it.
Okay.
A customer slides up with Moby Dick, 1942 classic comics, and a grin. Call me Ishmael. Chum bites on the banter, but immediately flags the truth. Comics live or die by condition. Edges, stains, spine wear. Every flaw is a price cut. It's a cool golden age tie-in, but nostalgia isn't a grading note. Time to bring in someone who speaks CGC without subtitles.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm pretty good. What do you have here?
I brought you Moby Dick.
Moby Dick in the form of a comic book.
Absolutely. It's an original from 1942.
They walk through the backstory, bought for a whale-obsessed dad, and the seller aims high. Chum lays out the brutal reality. Even beloved titles get dinged hard by tears and toning. Still, first-issue classic comics are collectible staples. If the interior is complete and presents well, there's a deal to make, just not at fantasy numbers. The vibes are good. The math needs a referee.
I bought the comic in order to give it to my father, who collects books on whales and whaling and Moby Dick. I'm hoping to get $600 for the comic. If I'm able to make a deal, then I'll go back and figure out what whaling book my dad would like.
Expert Paul arrives, checks the 10-cent mark, inspects the interior, and confirms it's the standard first issue. Letter from the editor present. Condition? Respectable reader grade with some edge and stain issues. Estimated value hovers around $550 retail. It's not a crown jewel, but it's definitely real money. Classic literature in comic form always pulls a steady crowd.
He brought this Moby Dick comic in, and I figured you're the guy who could tell me about it.
Really cool, man. You could tell it's a first original edition, which is pretty rare, just by the 10-cent.
Negotiation snaps into place. The seller trims to $500. Chum sizes resale time and offers $350. They circle warily and settle at $375. It's a fair cocktail of history and pop. Easy to display, easy to pitch, with a built-in story that sells itself. Chum tucks it away like treasure. Another win on the scoreboard.
Would you go $350 on it?
I'd be much happier at $450.
I could do $375, but I think that's my limit on it.
All right, $375.
All right, we got a deal.
A new walk-in flips the room. A silver certificate signed by Ronald Reagan and Walt Disney. Rick's eyebrow shoots up. 2 American giants on one bill? The seller explains Reagan MC Disneyland's opening, and the dates line up. Rick likes the paper, but signatures are landmines. He wants expert eyes before numbers. This could be framing gold or an expensive lesson.
I purchased the dollar bill at a private auction. I believe the dollar to be signed in the early 1950s. I'm going to be asking for $4,300. I want to sell it because I've had it for a little while and I just feel like it's time to move on from the item.
Rick recaps the historical crossover, actor Reagan in the 1950s, Disney's industry gravity, and why dual provenance spikes value, if authentic. He points out period pen flow and placement, but keeps his wallet shut until a professional calls it. When you mix presidential ink with Disney magic, counterfeits swarm. Time to verify everything against exemplars.
A lot of people forget this, but Ronald Reagan was an actor. And if you're an actor, especially during this time, the one person you wanted to be buddies with was Walt Disney.
Absolutely.
During the Red Scare, Ronald Reagan and Walt Disney both testified.
Nostalgia detour. Rick heads to Derek's D Casino to see a working Sigma Derby. He lights up. Communal quarters, plastic ponies, decades of Vegas cheers. Derek hints he might sell at the right price. Rick's already hearing coins drop in his memory, but the market in 2020's Vegas isn't the 1980s arcade floor. He needs a hard valuation, not warm fuzzies.
So, what do you think?
I like it. Let me tell you a little bit about the machine. Sigma was created by Katsuki Manabe back in the 60s, and he learned quickly to compete in the slot machine industry, you need to make machines that are not like everybody else is making.
Game expert Nick inspects, mechanicals running, cabinet healthy, the rarest quality of all, fully functional. He explains Sigma Derby's cult status and scarcity, but caps value at $30,000 to $40,000. It's unicorn cool, not unlimited budget cool. Rick winces, Derek smiles. When nostalgia meets math, somebody's heart breaks a little.
It's very rare to find one of these really working, and he's got all 10 stations that are running. I've seen them as low as $7,000 in unrestored shape. In this shape, probably at least $30,000, $40,000.
The ask lands at $80,000. Rick can't justify it. Derek won't budge. No deal. It's the correct pass, even if it stings. Rick shrugs off the loss. Better to keep the memories than buy a museum piece at twice market. Not every great story has a purchase order at the end.
You know, for me, I needed 80.
That's not gonna happen. Well, I guess I can't make you an offer. There's just no money here. Well, thanks, man.
Back at the shop, Signature Guru arrives to examine the Disney/Reagan bill. He pulls comparison sheets, studies line quality, slant, and period tells. Verdict on Disney first, spot on. Then Reagan, period correct, not secretarial, both authentic. Suddenly, the modest note is a wall-worthy conversation bomb. Rick smiles. Now there's a real number to chase.
Okay, cool. So the first thing I'll do, Corey, I want to look at the examples that I have on file, both these guys. The first one I'm going to look at is Reagan. Reagan used a myriad of secretaries, he's in movies, politics.
Negotiation is quick and sharp. With approximately $3,000 retail in play, Rick offers $1,800. The seller wants $4,300. Rick bumps to $2,200 and stops. The seller passes, choosing to frame it instead. Fair enough. Some pieces out-earn cash as pride. Rick lets it go. The lesson stands. Authenticity turns cool into valuable, but only if the price is right.
Would you go 22?
Killing me with that.
That's the best I can do.
I think I'll have to decline that.
All right, man. Well, offer stands if you want to come back with it, all right?
I appreciate it. Thank you.